Hello, my name is Stacy Ray. I am an 18-year-old artist. I've been doing art for about 13 and a half years, maybe. I don't even know. But today's video is really interesting. I really like how it turned out. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a Pinterest challenge. So I've got my tablet here, and these are the references that I picked out last night. I was going to do it all on camera, but I was really bored and couldn't sleep. So here's the references. So we got, for a person, we got this one. For a fruit, we have some mangoes. I believe these are mangoes. I don't even know. For veggie, we have an onion. For thing, we have a violin. For car, we have this car. For bird, we have this bird. Flower. Drink. And then this is a different reference. So let's go ahead and get started with the sketch. So for the sketch, I'm using a 0.9mm pencil. I got it at Hobby Lobby, where I get most of my art supplies that aren't like the expensive like Ohuhu art supplies. So I actually really struggled with the face on this one. Like, as you can see, I'm erasing a lot. The facial features, they're fine. I did all right with the facial features, but the ear I kind of struggled with, and I forgot to do the eyebrows, but I ended up adding them later. So there's that. I really like how the face turns out at the end of this. I end up kind of cheating a little bit and adding markers that aren't acrylic markers, like my water-based Ohuhu markers. I end up adding those and kind of cheating a little bit. But, I mean, who cares? It's not like this is a rule for the challenge. It's just a personal challenge of mine. And then there's the mangoes. The mangoes were super easy. And then now I'm drawing the onion, which was also super easy. And you can see me changing my references. And then this is the bird. So yeah, I really like how the bird turned out. It is actually, I drew it a little bit skinnier than the reference, but I do end up changing that later. So yeah. And then here's me doing the violin. I was originally going to do it like across the page, but then I realized I was making it way too big. So I erased it completely and drew it like in the middle of the page, kind of, almost. And I really like how I placed that violin. I think it turned out really nice. And then I do end up fixing the unproportionate violin later. Because on the left side, it is a little bit skinnier than the right side. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I do hold my pencil kind of weird. I am pointing that out because it actually does hurt my hand. If any of you were wondering, I actually have like a huge indent in my thumb from holding my pencil like that for years. And anyways, now I'm starting on the car. I'm mainly just blocking in the shapes because I'm not very good at drawing cars. So I was just kind of blocking in the shape so I could get like a general idea of where the car's shape is supposed to be. And I ended up really liking how the car turned out. It's actually one of my favorites, which is surprising because I've only ever drawn a car like twice. So I think for me drawing the car only like twice, I think I did pretty good. And then there's me just adding some final details to the car, and eventually I'm going to add some like back seats, and I don't know, I think it turned out pretty good. Now I'm about to start on the flower, so here's me changing my reference again. This flowers were actually really easy, just because flowers are so free, and they're so like independent, so it was easy to draw them. I love drawing flowers, even though they're kind of basic and kind of boring to me, but if you draw them cool enough with like pretty colors, pretty shapes, I think they turned out really good. And I think they are really cute, and it kind of covers the violin a little bit, but I almost like how it looks. And then here's me doing the lemonade vase. I really like this one too. This was actually my favorite out of all of them, and my mom's favorite. So this is what the sketch is looking like. I am actually very happy with how it is turning out so far. Okay, so I decided for the challenge, I'm going to use different mediums for every single drawing. So this one's going to be color pencil, acrylic marker, pencil, alcohol marker, gouache, watercolor, water-based markers, charcoal, and then acrylic paint. I know they're all kind of similar, but those are just what I'm best at, so I don't want to like go too out of my comfort zone and then make it look terrible. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm actually really excited because I've never done anything like this on like a one piece of page. Like I've done all of these mediums before, but I've never done it all together. So I think it'll hopefully turn out really good, and we'll just see from there. I am going to cheat just a little bit and use some water-based markers for the fine detail, just because it's going to be really hard to get it with acrylic marker, especially because mine are really old, and I don't want to actually like mess it up with thick lines that aren't supposed to be there. So I'm going to be using these water-based Ohuhu markers, and I'm going to be doing the fine details with those. So here's me struggling with my Prismacolor colored pencils. So this is what we have for the onion. I think this one looks really good, and I'm very happy with how this one turned out. Now I think I'm gonna move on to either the bird or the mango. So for the mangoes, I'm using Ohuhu alcohol markers. I started off using the brush tip, but later I realized that the chisel tip, I think that's how you say it, is a lot better for blending, at least in my opinion. So I'm just kind of copying the reference from this part, like this point, and I think it turned out alright. It's still not, it's probably my least favorite out of all of them, just because it's not blended very well because the colors are so harsh, and mangoes are just hard to draw. And here's me doing the stem. I used a light brown acrylic marker because I was afraid that it would bleed through to the other side, and I did not want that because the drawing behind it is very pretty. So I'm just using acrylic marker on that part, and then this is me trying to do a highlight. It obviously did not work, and then I just ended up messing up the marker, so I had to scrape off the color onto a scrap piece of paper, as you can see right here, because I didn't want the marker tip to be like red when it was a yellow color. I did not like how that turned out up until like the end, and then here's me using like a off-white color, and that one turned out okay for the off-white, and as you can see, my markers are kind of dried out because I've had them for so long, but honestly that kind of worked in my favor for this drawing specifically. And then here I'm adding some red to the stem because that's what the reference looked like, and then there's also some green on the stem, so I just made it like the reference. And then here's me doing the leaf. Alright, and then I'm adding like a darker green, and then off camera I do add like a light green and then a white in the middle for the stem, I think. And then, yeah, see, there it is. And then I also added a purple outline just to make the mangoes pop because they weren't really what I had hoped for, so I just added that purple outline. And then here's me doing the bird in graphite pencil, just using that 0.9 lead. Oh my gosh, I just dropped my phone. Anyways, I'm adding some stars in the background for the doodle. So I did spray some final fixative on this bird because I don't want the graphite to transfer over onto this side, onto the acrylic paint part. So I'm just gonna wait for that to dry, and hopefully it doesn't mess up anything in the back. But I sprayed this. I got this at Hobby Lobby for like $6-7. So yeah. So the brand I use is Apple Barrel Paint. You can literally get this at Walmart. It's actually like pretty good paint for being so cheap. It's quick drying. It's really nice. I really like this acrylic paint. We are using the colors Bright Yellow and Spring Green for this. And then I think for final details, I'm going to go in with acrylic marker because I've already cheated on some other drawings. Might as well cheat on all of them, you know? So then I just need like a light blue. So I'm going to use, no, that's satin. I don't want satin. I'm going to use this pool blue right here. So right here, I'm using this color called Antique White. I forgot to mention that earlier, but this paint is like actually perfect for the reference because it's like a yellowy toned paint. So it works really, really well for what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to smooth it out right now and make it not streaky. And now we're going to start with the lemons. Alright, so I have all of the layers of paint down. So now all that's left is just doing acrylic marker once it dries. Now for the violin, I'm going to be using this water brush that I got from Graby Art Set. This watercolor palette right here is Graby. I did make a video on opening this package and testing out these watercolors. So if you'd like to go see that, then just go to my profile and it should be the 10-minute one. And I mean, it'll tell you what video it is anyways. So I'm going to use this red-ish brown here. Ooh, that's a lot more red than I thought. And I did do a swatch on the other side. Oops, not that side. This other side. So this is red ochre. So I might have to just make this the base coat and then do like a brown coat on top. Now the base coat is dry. Not dry, sorry. Now the base coat is done. So now we have to wait for it to dry. While we wait for the violin to completely dry, I'm going to start on the car with the charcoal. I'm using General's medium 2B charcoal. Alright, so there's the finished car. This was actually a lot harder than I was expecting it to be, but I think it still turned out really good. My hand, not so much, but yeah, this is basically dry. There's just that one spot right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the red with a brownish color to match the violin reference. So I think I'm going to use this color right here, or maybe even, I don't know, there's not a lot of dark browns. I think I'm going to use this color. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's like an orangey brown. Okay, so now I'm just going to completely do like a wash over this red, and hopefully the red will still shine through a little, but not super noticeable. Yeah, I really like that. That turned out a lot better than I was expecting it to. Of course, I still have to add final details to it, but I think I'm going to do that with my water-based markers, my Ohuhu water markers, just so I can get some more fine detail, because like I said in my last video, I'm not very good with watercolor yet. I still need to practice. So I've been working on it, but it's hard, especially when I have other stuff I want to draw and other stuff I gotta do. So I'm working on it, but I think it's looking really good for being a beginner watercolorist. Now, I was gonna do some more layering on the watercolor painting of the violin, but since I'm kind of struggling with the paper, I decided I'm just gonna do water-based markers for like all the detail, not instead of just some, because this paper is from Five Below, the sketchbook, and it is very, you can tell it's from Five Below. It's nice paper, don't get me wrong, but it's just not as good quality as like RTX's sketchbooks. And it does not hold watercolor, as you can see, because it's wrinkling and it's like warping, and it doesn't look as good as it could. So I'm just going to leave it like this, let it dry, and then I'm going to go in water-based markers and fix it up. Now for the flowers, I'm going to do the water-based markers, so I'm going to use this dark purple and this light purple, and then I might even add a little bit of pink in there as well. Even though the reference doesn't have pink, I did want to add some just to kind of make it come together a little more. So basically, I'm just going to color in the insides, kind of like this. And also, the lemonade is done, if you couldn't tell. I added some acrylic marker and then a couple water-based markers as well. And I think it turned out really good. I really like how it looks. It's probably one of my favorites, even though it's not realistic like at all. But it still just looks so pretty, and I'm just really wowed with myself. So there's that. I really like it. Alright, so there's the dark purples done. So let's go in with the light purples and then the pinks. Wow, this is not like the cap owl. Look at that. Well, it kind of is. Well, it's fine. Alright. Yeah, I like that. And then for adding the pink, I'm just going to do like little streaky lines like this. And I'm not really worried about making it look perfect. I kind of want it to look scribbly. Because with flowers, they're really not like a specific way. Flowers are just kind of whatever they want to do. They're really free. And that's why I like drawing flowers so much, because I don't have to worry about proportion super much. Like, everything can just kind of go wherever without it looking bad. Alright, so the last thing that we have to do for this page is just the violin. And then I also want to spray the car with Final Fixative so it doesn't transfer over to the other page when I do other drawings in the future. So I'm just going to move some markers over here and try to not get Final Fixative everywhere. So this is the Final Fixative I use. Just going to pop the cap off, shake it, and spray. Alright. I personally love the smell of it. It smells so weird, but like, and it makes me like cough and hack, but I like it. It smells good. So the violin is still slightly damp, so I am just gonna leave it the way it is for now. And I'm just gonna go eat real quick, and then after I come back, I'm gonna finish the violin. Alright, so this is the final result of the Pinterest challenge. I think it turned out really, really good, and I'm very proud of what we have here. So, I do need to fix that real quick, but, and that right there, okay. And then, other than that, I think it is good. So, I went ahead and added the page numbers for my sketchbook, so we have page 93 and 94, and I tried to use colors that, like, I've used in other spots to make it, like, cohesive, and I think it overall turned out really good. I'm very proud. I really like the onion, and I really like the mangoes, and the car, and especially the lemonade. It all just makes me very happy to look at. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite pages. Honestly, the violin covering like some of the other page just looks so satisfying to me. And then I added the date and then the Pinterest challenge. And I'm also gonna write here, inspired by the last coffee bean. Oops. Alright, because that's who inspired me to make this video today. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more content in the future, please like and follow so you can see more content and get informed about my future videos. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye!